We are here with Mr. Jerry Forte at the Customer Service Center for Colorado Springs Utility. Mr. Forte, you guys are coming off of a pretty extensive meeting yesterday, I hear. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, John, we had a board meeting yesterday, and it was one of the longer ones we've had in quite a while. I think it went to almost 8 o'clock in the evening. We covered a lot of very detailed subjects, though.
Oh, and talk about that. This is a new board that you have as the new city council was elected in. You guys are just kind of beginning the dialogue. What are some of the things that you're really trying to get across to the new board?
You know, they're very, very focused on really the details of running the business, and it's been refreshing for me to have this emphasis. Our board members want lots of information. They want to drill in. They want to be part of really running the organization. So it's been really wonderful for us, wonderful for the staff. We go into more detail on various issues. Likely our reports will get more and more detailed as they've really have almost a hunger for the information.
Yeah, you were saying earlier they're doing their homework about this. When you present the reports, they really go through and they want to be involved. They want to be kind of instead of reaction, they want to try to attack it from the front.
That's right. I'm really impressed because they're asking critical questions. You know, the right questions. And I think, you know, as I look at it and I look forward, I think our community is really going to be well served by this council and this utilities board.
And some of the things you guys are talking about, I guess the first of which is on the forefront of everyone's mind is drought. We look outside, it's a little bit rainy. This does not mean we're out of the drought just yet.
Yeah, John, I get that question almost every day, and it's kind of a standing joke now in our organization because every time I see any hint of rain, I'll call down to our water supply folks and say, does this mean we can get out of restrictions? And we get a good laugh out of it. But the reality is, up in the high country, conditions have improved considerably, but we're still in the second year of a drought type of a situation. We're monitoring it every single day, and we hope by June to be able to see where the runoff is really going to come, and if there's any possibility even of relaxing restrictions.
And there's a proactive approach you guys are taking with more than just residential and commercial. We're talking about parks, city parks in Colorado Springs. There's a lot of effort being made to kind of make them drought tolerable so they're not so dependent upon watering all the time. What are some of the steps that are being taken there? Yeah,
the biggest thing with respect to parks watering is the efficiency programs, and we have been funding over the last several years, and we're committing, subject to our board's approval and council's approval, the continuation of some funding every year to make the parks more efficient.
I know a lot of it has to do with the type of grass that's there. There's a lot of Kentucky bluegrass, and it's being kind of taken out to put in more natural Colorado grass to be able to stand up to some of the arid type temperatures that we have.
Yeah, the folks in the municipal government that work in parks are looking at a lot of those things. They're looking at right-sizing parks, repurposing some parks, reducing the amount of turf. But our focus is really more on the irrigation. So how can we make sure we're not wasting water? We're only using the water that the turf or the plants need to be able to be sustainable.
And also the Springs Utilities is very involved with stormwater. I know a lot of money is being pumped in to kind of make sure that we are taken care of when a rain event, if a rain event happens. Can you talk a little bit about that and what Springs Utility is doing to try to be, again, proactive about this?
Sure, I appreciate the question. We're actually not responsible for stormwater, as you know, but we do have in essence, a responsibility when stormwater has the potential to impact our infrastructure. So because we live in a fairly steep community, we have 5 different drainage basins. We have lots of crossings of those drainage basins with water lines, wastewater lines, electric and gas lines. We have a responsibility to make sure that our infrastructure is protected. So we harden water lines, we harden wastewater lines, but really most recently the emphasis for us has been on digging out of the aftermath of the Waldo Canyon fire. There's been lots of damage, as you're probably aware, up in Upper West Monument Creek, coming down Stanley Canyon. We've been involved working to resolve that, as well as other agencies that are helping and doing other parts of that aftermath.
Going back to Springs Utilities Board, another topic that's discussed a lot is renewable energy, solar gardens. As that conversation kind of progresses, where are you in that conversation?
Well, yesterday our board heard some extensive discussion, staff work, and public testimony on solar gardens. And it appears right now, although there wasn't a formal vote, but there was direction, consensus direction given to the staff to prepare a tariff that can be approved by September 1st that will expand the solar garden program by 2 additional megawatts. It will also, they're also directing us to really look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is all the ways that we can incentivize renewable energy. How do we get to our energy vision, which part of it is 20% renewable energy by the year 2020. So they're asking us to go back and not just look at solar gardens, but look at solar, look at wind, look at geothermal, look at biomass, and look at it in the context of what is the best way to reach this energy vision. So we'll be moving that work forward as well.
And it's a long-term investment. I know a lot of it, there's still the question about the return on investment and how much it'll cost and how much it'll pay off. But this is something that needs to be looked at, I guess, from the Springs Utilities and the community as a whole.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, obviously, we support renewable energy, and our community supports renewable energy. In fact, our community, with the leadership of our city council, actually adopted an energy vision that includes more renewable energy than the state mandates requirement. So we do support that. The question is, how do we do that in the most cost-effective and sustainable manner?
So in terms of restrictions, how is the community reacting to it? How well are they reacting to it? What are some of the things that you hear throughout the community or through voicemails or emails or?
Yeah, well, it's actually better than we even anticipated. Now, some of that could be the weather. We've had a cooler and even a wetter, say, April and so far in May. So that really does impact people's watering preferences. But the good news is people are responding. If it's wet out, people aren't watering. We're seeing more savings than we anticipated for this time. We've saved over a billion gallons so far. And so we're on our way towards our goal. I think it's over 6 billion gallons this year that we need to be able to save. The other good news is there's very few people that are actually moving into that drought surcharge. You know, they're staying in tiers 1 and 2 in terms of their watering so far. So we're really encouraged. We're really thankful to all of our customers that have really worked hard, I think, to partner. It's a community issue. It's a community challenge, and what we see is the community stepping up together.
And as you're talking about tier 1, tier 2, just to make sure people aren't going too far, there's actually a tool online that can be used to kind of see where you're at.
John, I'm glad you mentioned that. We're really excited about this new online tool we call My Usage. So customers can log in to their account on our website, and they can actually pull up their own usage. It's not just for water, it's for gas and electric as well. And they can almost real time monitor how much water they're using, so they can see if they're getting close to that 2,000 cubic foot threshold in a month. They'll be able to see that. They'll be able to make adjustments as necessary so they can better manage and steward their own use of these precious commodities.
Also in the utility board, you guys are talking about the decommission of Drake. Where is that conversation leading at this point?
Good question. That is moving forward. The Utilities Board, City Council have approved moving forward with the Drake decommissioning study. The consultant has been hired. They're now in the process of beginning to accumulate, look at data, look at information, and to determine what's the right time to retire that asset.
And the Newman scrubber system has been in the news as of late, going international, it seems.
It seems that there's more opportunities for Newman Systems Group to begin to export their technologies to other locations. I think they just, if I recall, received a patent in China as well for some of their very, very sophisticated technologies that we're going to be able to take advantage of as well.
And this is something that was kind of unknown, but is it some sort of reassurance that other people are looking at it and saying, hey, wait a minute, that maybe they're onto something there. So that's got to be kind of a reassuring thing.
Well, and again, we already did a lot of the diligence, so we know the system works. We know it represents a breakthrough in technology. We think it has the possibility of liberating coal in a lot of areas so that we can, as a nation, continue to use coal in the most responsible manner possible. So we're really excited to be able to be installing scrubbers that are going to remove to world-class levels sulfur dioxide on our Drake power plant.
Mr. Forte, I do appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure.